Good morning, lovely people. How are you all today? I hope you're well. I can't believe it's the beginning of March already. We're actually a few days into March. Time has whizzed. The forecast today was to be really quite chilly, like about 2 degrees centigrade. What is that in Fahrenheit? Which is about 36, 37. So yeah, it's supposed to be chilly. I've got tons of layers on. Tons of layers on. I'm going to be stripping soon. It's actually really pleasantly mild. The thermometer in the shed says that in the shed it's 15 degrees. Anyway, right, so I haven't been to the garden for best part of 1 month. In the time between my last visit and today, we've had Storm Dennis, we've had Storm Jorge, or Jorge. I don't know how we're supposed to be pronouncing it. Can you just give us some plain and simple names that we know how to pronounce? Honestly, we were all saying Storm Kiara, and I know it was doing our Irish friends knots in. Yes, so we've had a couple of named storms in the meantime. Actually, what I don't understand is, we went from Dennis to Jorge, so we went from D to J. What happened to D, E, F, G and H? What happened to E, F, G and H? Or did I sleep through 4 other storms? I don't know. Anyway, the point is, I've literally just got here. I haven't had a look at the plot at all. Sort of came with a blinker on because I thought, let's just go and have a look at it together as it is at the beginning of March. I'm not expecting too much change from the beginning of February. I think now to the beginning of April, that's when we'll see some big changes. But I'm half expecting, you know, is there going to be any damage out there? To be honest, if there'd been damage, I would have noticed it when I was walking in, even though I was trying not to look. I haven't checked the cold frame yet. There's quite a bit in the cold frame to check on. So, without further ado, put your welly boots on. It is really muddy underfoot. Get your wellies on, put a few layers on, and come on, let's go and explore the garden at the beginning of March. Well, the first thing I'm noticing is I think I need to cut my grass again. Goodness me. I cut the grass and did all the edges. It's still not too bad, but I did that about 5 weeks ago. But it's been such a mild and wet winter. I'm not surprised it's all romping away again. Now, in here, dun dun dun, where is it? It's down here. Can you see the stalks from last year? And look, new growth. This is all new growth. That's the division of Helenium that I took from my mum's garden in Lancashire last summer. I did worry about it a little bit because I'd done the division and then set it aside, and it was just set aside for 5 days before I got it back to London and into the ground. But it looks like it wants to do its thing. Down here, this is a mass of, look, they're so gorgeous and frothy. That's the poached egg plants. Oh, I can never remember. I promised myself I was going to try and do all Latin for my flowers this year, but it's something like lam something Douglasii. Yeah, so that's poached egg plants. The rest that you can see in there, that's a lot of forget-me-nots. They might be a little bit too rampant and impinging on my veggie bed, so I'll just pull handfuls out. And look, this amazes me. This is a handful of bulbs that my mum gave me about 18 months ago. Planked them in the autumn of 2018. They did come up last year. I don't know why, but I wasn't expecting to see them again this year. These are a cultivar type of tulip. So they won't, as each year goes by, they won't come up quite as well as the previous year. But yeah, hopefully, and there'll be a sort of an orangey red colour, be a nice little splash of colour. The fixed post is still standing, just. I am going to make a new post for it though. Right, what's happening in the broad bean bed? Oh, lost my nets a bit. Is that wind or foxes? I'm not sure, but you can see in here, hopefully. Oh, can you? That's my second sowings. Oh, it's pathetic and dismal, isn't it? I haven't really thought about it too much, actually. These are my first sowings. Yeah, pathetic. Normally what I would do is I'd get these out at the end of May and put another crop in, but I don't think they're going to be ready. This bed, when I was planning back in January, I was thinking, ooh, am I going to do peas? Am I not? Is it going to be a spare bed? So, like I said, I'm going to have to put my mind to this quite soon before I start sowing, because I might have to sort of rethink, rejig things, and instead of putting my cocoa in here, put them in here. Can I fit peas around these? Not sure. What I will do is, in order to help me make that decision, I'll base it on how well my third sowings of broad beans have done. They're the ones in the cold frame under the tool, under the pink ballet tool, if you remember. We'll go and have a look at those in a minute. I've got no idea. Otherwise, look, you can see, this is why I want to get my beds covered in the winter. This one didn't. Oh my goodness, look at that net as well. Oh, that must be the wind, because the wind comes pretty much straight through this way. It's taking it. But I don't know if you can get a sense of, let's see if you can get it closer. When my soil is exposed to our winter rains, and let's face it, this February, it's now official, it has been the wettest February since records began. When my soil gets pounded by the rain, as it has done, any exposed soil, it compacts it, it makes this horrible crust, which then means I'm going to have to give it a really good forking, which is, obviously it's something I've been wanting to avoid. But never mind, look, I didn't get that bed, well, at least this side of the bed covered. That side was covered with leaves and the net. Hey Rusty! Oh, it's so lovely to catch up with the cats after all this time too. He sort of half cuddled me and then sort of shrugged his shoulders at me as if to say, where have you been, missus? Anyway, yes, so that's a lesson for us all, isn't it? Any of us who have this kind of clay soil which likes to compact, is just work really hard in the autumn to get your beds covered and protected. Gosh, I've got tons of chard still. Obviously, some of it is way past its best, but there's still plenty in there for me to pick. Fabulous. And still, at that end, that's pretty much all beetroots at that end. Excellent. I can make a load of soup, I think. So over the next 4 weeks or so, these sort of last beds, what's going in here? Think, Vivi, think. I think that's going to be, I know, it's going to be bush beans in here. So I can probably leave things in until the really, really last minute. It's not a case of having to sort of clear the bed and get it covered. So because that chard is giving it such good coverage, I'll probably leave that exactly as it is and just let it keep going. But this bed, these last couple of cabbages are past their best, but there'll be something edible on them. I'll get them out and I will get some cardboard on here because this will be for chickpeas. I will direct sow them as I always do, but that won't be until the middle of April, probably at the earliest, possibly even going into May. So it could be 2 months before I'm sowing in this bed. So I'll see if I can find some compost from somewhere. I'll look in my bins again, leaves, whatever, get it covered. Otherwise, the wind has obviously been doing a bit of a job on my cardboard. Never mind. And on this cardboard, that's worm activity. That was one of the first lots of cardboard that went down, and you can see how the worms have had most of it away already. That is going to be one of the cathedral beds this year, so either end will be the squash, in the middle will be some sort of salad leaf type thing. So again, it's one of those beds where I am going to be direct sowing with the, the salading type things. So I do want a fairly fine tilth to sow them into. The last thing I want is this compacted stuff. I brought some more cardboard with me today, so that's one of my jobs for the day, is to get covering again. Oh my goodness me. But you know what? You can probably see, I'm not waterlogged. It's one of the amazing things for me here is, although I've got this heavy clay that gets really wet. Oh, I've just done something exciting. Yeah, it does get really wet, but it doesn't get waterlogged as such, which is great. I feel so bad for the people who are waterlogged. Can you see what I see? Yay! Oh, happy days. Oh, you beauties. I mean, look at the colour. What a gorgeous colour to be eating at this time of year. So, I'm so excited. That's my first harvest. None on the others yet, but they're all looking really healthy and well. And amazingly, the little bit of staking I did, plus around the back, do you remember I put this panel in? It's like a mesh panel I put stakes either end because it all flopped onto the path. That's done the trick too, but I'm spotting a couple more. But yeah, they're all looking healthy and well and getting themselves ready for the feast. Oh, that's brilliant. This is one of the things I look forward to every spring, is, as I've just shown you with the cabbage bed, I've got a couple of cabbages left and they've kind of gone past their best. I'll show you the broccoli and the others in a minute. But just when all the lovely brassica type greens are dying, just when you think you've had your last mouthful, along come these beauties. Oh, can't wait. Oh, guess what I'm having for my supper tonight? How's the garlic looking? Yeah, not too bad. So if you remember, last time I was here, like I said, it was about 4 weeks ago, I scattered this whole bed with the chicken manure dried pellets. Not a sign of them now, so obviously all that rain we've had has helped to melt them and take that yummy goodness down. And actually, I think this is all looking pretty good and healthy. Yay! Fantastic. Nothing to see here, folk. Nothing to see. Yeah. Oh, honestly, every time I see a bit of exposed soil like that, it just like, oh. I don't really ever think it picks up on camera quite how crusty that is. I can see it with my naked eye. Trust me, it's horrid. Yes, so one of the good things today by having my little walk around is to catch up and think about all my jobs that need doing. I need the last of the parsnips out. They're all starting to sprout again. Don't want them to do that. I want them out. I want them out and in my freezer. Oh, I've just remembered. Do you know the other day I was saying I'm just about ready to turn one of my freezers off? No, I'm not. Because I'm going to be filling it up with the last of the parsnips and the last of the carrots. There's only a few down here now. I've got a bit of a box of them in the shed too. Yeah, freezer number 3 is going to stay on for now. Oh my goodness, look at this rhubarb cutting division. This was from my neighbours. I'm looking for a new home for it. I've asked people to put the word out to some of our newbies to say, would you like some rhubarb? Oh my goodness, maybe I'll just keep it in this bag and grow it in there. No, it won't be big enough for it. Yeah, I'll sort something out for that at some point. The broccoli, as I completely expected with having been away all this while, is gone over. Oh, I think what I'd like to do with this bed, this is going to be tomatoes, which won't be going until about May, June time, end of May, beginning of June. I'll try and find some mulch to get on this ground. But otherwise, because I actually want to leave all these plants in here to flower for our emerging bees. Oh, look at that. We've got to look after those pollinators, haven't we? So yeah, I don't expect anything more from this bed. Just look after it and look after the bees. This was what I was also expecting. My Cavolo-Nero. I'll show you closer up to one of them. You see, Cavolo-Nero, it's chucking up its flower spike. Once it starts to flower, I find that the taste of the leaves isn't so good. I find it a bit bitter, shall we say. The scarlet's still doing okay. Such beautiful colours. Oh, I'm so happy to be here today to just saturate myself with these colours. So yeah, what I might do, I might try and rescue some of the Cavolo-Nero leaves. But again, with this bed, just like the broccoli, I won't need it. This is going to be for peppers and cucumbers this year. So I shan't need it until the beginning of June. So we've got, March, April, May, 3 months. So I think, yeah, more mulch for here. Let these things flower, let the bees have them. Let me rescue what I can first, and then just let it flower. Look, the celery seems to have perked up. So the plan, let me take you around there and show you closer. The plan, obviously I've been harvesting from this all winter. Hoopla. Sorry, wobbly feet. I've been harvesting from it all winter. Some of it's been looking a bit tatty, but there's always something to harvest. So celery is a biennial, as in it does all its growing in the first year, and then in the second year it does its flower making and therefore seed making. So I'm going to try and keep 1 or 2 of these going all year. So I'll select 1 or 2 really good looking plants. The rest will come out and I'll sow something else under there. Can't remember what off the top of my head. It's squash, isn't it? I'm going to have squash down there. Oh, that'll work perfectly. So if, say, towards the edge I leave a couple of them in, the squash can be here, then hopefully I can get some of my own seeds from the celery, and that would be my first ever time growing and harvesting my own celery seed, which would be great. That's another £2.50 saved a year if I can on seeds. Brilliant. And also, the thing about having your own seed is, it's so gorgeous. These plants, obviously they're acclimatised to my garden. They like my soil, they like the weather. So it makes sense to have these seeds rather than seeds which have been developed in conditions which might be very unsimilar. Yippee! Okie dokie. Oh, this is a job that needs doing. Let me show you. You see the rose is starting to grow again. Look at these lovely new shoots, so lush and pretty. Yeah, that's going to get its pruning soon. Right, okay, shut up about pruning. Let's get in the cold frame. What has been going on in here? Right, no peeking. Yay! So, at the back, taller. Oh, it's actually really just wafting my hand. It's really quite warm. So the ones at the back, these 2 rows, that's sweet peas. Wunderbar! And at the front are my green peas, my garden peas. So this was, gosh, when did I sow them? Oh, it says on the label, 3rd of the 2nd, so about 5 weeks ago. And when I sowed them, because obviously the mice can still get into the cold frame because they're such teeny tiny little things, I just sprinkled the whole top of it with some chili powder. And it looks like none of the cells have been disturbed. It looks though like, oh yeah, they all need a really good watering. I'm actually surprised just how warm that was when I put my hand in. Okay, right, let's go on the other side because... Scrape. Oh, just before we get there, that's a happy sight, isn't it? Got all the little rosemary flowers. Beautiful. Oh, myriad flowers. Oh, just come around the other side. What's that? And more's the point, whose is that? I've got no idea. Where's that come from? I'll just prop it up there a minute. I'm just having a look. I can't think whose that is. Oh, it's obviously blown in. I'll let the committee know and then they can put a notice on email or something to tell everyone that Vivi's got half of someone's greenhouse. Oh, good grief. But coming around this side, this is all the... Oh, actually, let's do it from the top. It's easier. This is all the second sowing of broad beans I did. So this is about 3.5, 4 weeks. I can't see. Oh no, there's one. There's one. Now, what I'm also looking for, not just to see them shooting, oh, there's another one just trying to come up in there, is it looks like all the pots are undisturbed, as in there are no telltale signs of mice, which is that little hole that gets popped in the top of each pot where they grab the seed out. I can't get over how dry. That's really dry. Goodness me, it just shows, doesn't it, that even in the winter when it's chilly, just closing my new Perspex window. Oh, it's bending. Hold on a sec, sorry. Awkward angle. Yeah, the sun on the glazing really does warm it up. Ah, yes, that's a job I didn't get around to t'other week, t'other month. This really needs some help. I got so mashed in Kira. It looks like it's had another mashing. Okay, this is good. I'm kind of making a note of all these jobs that need doing. Can I get past it? Oh dear, my obelisk is down. But you know what? I think it's fair to say, in terms of all these storms we've had, I got off lightly. The Taunton Dean got a bit mashed. My obelisk fell over. That's about it. Oh, look at the elephant garlic. Oh, they've more than doubled in size since I was last here. That's fab. How are my blueberries doing? Lots and lots of little buds all over them. Fabulous. I'm wondering about pruning them. I'm not sure. I'll have a think on it. This was a little trough that was on the deck last summer, and it's self-seeded with some chamomile. I just adore the colour of this chamomile. It's so bright and vivid. Okay, what's going on in the herb bed? This is one of my main jobs to crack into. In the next couple of days. It's time now to do quite a lot of pruning in here, general tidying up. Any more crocuses or crocus-eye? There's one, there's two, there's the top of a third. They're not doing much though, are they? Over in this little patch, I think this was another type of, oh, they're just coming, another type of crocus. They're quite slow, aren't they? You know, in fairness, it is their first year. The rhubarb is coming back up. Do you know what? Considering that's been in there for a year, 16, 17 months, it's looking a bit pathetic compared to the one that's sitting in the bag, isn't it? Yeah, ton of pruning to do, and now is pretty much perfect actually, because I can see the first, for example, in here with the hyssop, I can see where my first green shoots are, so I can see where to cut back to. Get it done now before it really gets going. Fab. What about my other bulbs? Well, there's 3 up. I think I planted 5. Oh, look, the sweet Sicily. Wow. I checked. Hang on, let me step in onto my path. I actually checked this last time I was down. So I checked 4 weeks ago. There was absolutely no sign of it. Oh, beautiful. Gorgeous, gorgeous colour. On the other side, over here somewhere, is the lovage. No sign of that yet, but never say never. Oh, and how about the little, what do you call it, the bergamot, which was new at the end of last year. Bringing it around again. Sorry, this is it here. That's it. Don't look much, do it? But well, hopefully it'll come back and do something. Looks like the French lavender survived. Now, what I am thinking is, I'm thinking of eventually taking the French lavender out of here and putting it somewhere else in the garden, not in my garden, in the whole site, because it doesn't do as well as the English lavender. And what I'm hoping to do with the English lavender is to strike some cuttings from it. I've never tried to do cuttings from lavender, but I'm going to give it a go. And I'm hoping to do a mixture of some hardwood and softwood cuttings. So in about 4 weeks or so will be nigh on perfect time to do that. And then eventually what I'd like to have is, like I say, have the English lavender over here as well. It's much better suited to this climate. And I mean, look at the difference between them, you can see. So yeah, replace this all with English lavender. Yay! So, righty-ho. Oh, wind's picking up a bit. Breezy, breezy. So, well, it's good, isn't it? It's good to have a bit of a walk around like this at the beginning of the month. I can sort of see there are some jobs which are immediate. There are others which are, right, that needs doing in March. No hurry, but just have it on the list of things to do. And, well, yeah, before we know it, it'll be full swing in the garden again. Actually, you know, as it is at the moment, it's still very quiet and still very calm and chilled out here. I think it's one of those days to potter quietly and enjoy this sort of quiet time before the madness of seed sowing and planting and structure building and bed prep and all those other wonderful things that we're all about to get stuck into. So, from me and my suddenly a bit windy garden. Oh, let me see if I can get out of the wind by my fence a bit. Yes, for now I shall say cheerio to you all and see you back in the garden very soon, I hope. Ah, yes, you will see me again in the garden very soon. But until then, please take care of yourselves and each other and see if you can sneak into the garden and have a bit of pottering time. Bye for now.